Hi, this is Mrs. Cucuzzi, and I'm going to show you how to get started on your non-objective digital design. We're going to start right from the beginning because some of you may or may not have had Photoshop before. The first thing I want you to do is look on your desktop and find the icon for Adobe Photoshop Elements. And what you're going to do is you're going to double click it so that the program can open up. And that might take a minute. When it opens, you're going to see this sort of home screen or home base. If you bought the program on your own, if you had it, if your parents have it, you would probably want to click Create. There is a bug in the program we have, so if you click Create, it will not load. So what you're going to need to do to start is click Edit. If you've never used the program, it might ask you to consent to a licensing agreement. So if another little box pops up, just say, I agree, and click that. But most of you should be able to just go in and click the orange circle that says Edit. And these directions are on your handout as well. So that will take another second or two. Okay. So now when you're into the program, what you're going to do is you want to create a new document. So you're going to say File, New, and you want a blank file. And at this point, when this comes up, you have some different elements you can choose from. You can create the size yourself, or you can do with a preset size. We want this to be about the size of a piece of paper. So we're going to say US paper, which is 8.5 by 11 by 300. Its color, the background, white or transparent, either one is fine. So you're going to say, okay. And that's going to give me my background to work on. So that's just like a blank piece of paper, but it's digital. So I'm going to say zoom out, and I can see the whole thing. So mine is 8.5 by 11, and the 8.5 is along the top. So mine is a vertical piece. If by any chance you wanted it to be horizontal, you could say image rotate 90 degrees left or right. It wouldn't really matter at this point because there's nothing on it. And if I say Control Z, I can go back to where I was. So now you have your blank Photoshop document, and most of the projects we do will start out this way. So the next thing you want to do is you want to add a color to your background. And we're going to make the background its own layer. So really later on, if you decide you want to change the color, that's fine. But I'm going to demonstrate how to change a color. Right now I have two colors. I have white and black. So if I took the paint bucket and I clicked in the background, white's not going to change it. But if I click this little arrow and I put black on top, I could change it to black, and so forth. Whatever color is on top is the color your paint bucket will use. If you would like to change a color, you click in the color, and then you have to actually click in the box. So right now it's set to these reds, and if I click here, I would get sort of a pure red. This would be more of like a gray, a tone of a red, or a tint of a red. Tint is with white, shade is with black, tone is with gray. So I could get some different tones and shades. And I can just play around until I find a color I like. Okay. So let's say I find a color I like, I put it in there. And you can have two different colors at once too. So let's say I really do like, I had this color as well. And you just want to go until you have a color you like for your background to start. Now, if you want a gradient, you pick any two colors you like, and I already have my two colors set up. And beneath the paint bucket, there's the gradient tool. And I can click and drag, and that's going to give me a gradient. For every tool, when you're using it, the options are going to be along the top. So this will give me sort of a straighter gradient. I can do a gradient that comes out from the center. I can do one that's sort of striped. Okay, so you can play around until you get the gradient you like. Right now, this gradient, the top one here, uses the two colors I chose, but there's all different things that you can do. Okay, so you can play around with it until you have a background that you like. If you decide that you don't like your background, you can always make a new layer on top. Okay, and then whatever you do on the new layer will cover the old one. If you want to unlock your background, you can, in case you want to delete it by clicking over here in the trash bucket. Remember, every picture is going to be on its own layer, so if you make a mistake or you want to delete a layer, you can do that. Okay, so what I want you to do now is just come up with some sort of background color that you like. And it can be a gradient, it can be a regular. You're just basically creating your document so that you're happy with it. Okay, so I'm going to leave mine as this. When you are done, you want to save it to your OneDrive or your desktop, either one for today. So I'm going to say Save As. I'm going to go up to, I think for me, I'm going to do my OneDrive. Okay, I am going to make a folder for digital art. New folder. Digital art. It will always be here no matter what computer I'm on if I have my OneDrive. The benefit of saving it to your desktop is if you are home and you don't have internet, you will still have the project to work on. So if you want to save it on the desktop too, that's fine, or instead. Digital art, and I'm going to call it Amy Cucuzzi Non-Objective, because it's going to be my non-objective design. And I'm going to say save. Save as. Oh, now I've got to open the digital arts, and now I'm going to say save. So now I've got my project to work on this class. So that's just getting you started. So you've got your basic background or canvas to work with. And we will do step 2 next week. If you want to go ahead, the directions are also going to be posted for you, and you can always go ahead as well. Thank you.